Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you to Creative Living Centre.
Okay, I'm 57 and I've had a very sort of checkered career. I've done lots of different things, but sadly, I wasn't able to go through with some of my dreams because of anxiety. So I've lived all my life with an anxiety condition, and therefore I've had to find ways of keeping myself stable. So one of the things I found was your centre.
Oh.
And some of the courses there seemed appropriate and relevant to me.
Oh, that's good, Helen. Sit yourself back a bit because you've come quite close again. Sit yourself back. That's better.
Okay.
That's better.
Yeah.
Before actually coming to Creative Living Centre, before you found us, how are you dealing with like your situation, your illnesses? How are you dealing with that before finding?
Right. Well, I was dealing with it quite well, but probably because I'd been to another organisation, a Jewish organisation called the Fed, and they do lots and lots of activities, and their groups were very supportive, very caring, very nurturing, and I met lots of very nice people there. So I was able to access a lot of their resources, and we did some really good things. So that's another tool that I've used to keep myself stable and on top.
Yeah, it's good to because it's good to actually see what else is out there and try and Creative Living Centre is not just about being part of Creative Living Centre, it's about what is actually going on around Bury, Manchester that is there to support you, isn't it? So that's good.
Yeah.
I was looking at what activities you've attended, but do you want to give me a recap of some of the activities that you've attended at Creative Living Centre?
At Creative Living Centre, I've done the Think Better, Feel Better.
Yeah.
I've had reflexology. I've done the holding space. I've done that twice now. I've attended 4 weeks and then another 4 weeks. Right. I've done assertiveness training. Stop the bully in your head.
Yeah.
Challenging negative thoughts.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a few.
You've done quite a lot at Creative Living Centre, haven't you? I think you've said everything I've written down here as well, and you did the assertiveness training last night as well, didn't you? And you said that went well.
Yeah, it was really, really good, and it's amazing how every group brings its own energy, dynamic, and every group is different. Everything is, what people bring is different, and it changes the sort of chemistry. But that group really, really was wonderful. It just was very special, and even the leaders noticed it. But there was one person who was so inspirational, who had definitely achieved all the things that we talk about, we try and put into practice, and we did feel she'd achieved it. So she was an example to all of us.
Yeah,
it gave us hope.
It's always nice to hope. It's always nice to see somebody who have come through and is on a path that you're sort of like looking at and going in a really positive way. That's good, isn't it? What's helped you since becoming at Creative Living Centre? So I know you've mentioned you've come to a lot of the courses, the holding space, the worry tree, the stop bully, but how does Creative Living Centre help you? How does it support you?
Well, I think I will home in on one of the on something very specific, and that is the holding space. I really feel that because the group is limited to a small number of people, and you are there for 4 weeks, so you've got the continuity of care, support, and you've just got continuity. That is something that I found really helpful. I really felt heard, listened to, that's the same word I suppose, supported. I felt it was really, really something that I think needs to be a regular thing at the centre. I keep recommending it to different people because it stood out as something extremely useful. Well, loving, caring.
When you say the words being heard and being supported and being listened to, they're really powerful, like words as human beings.
Yeah.
You know, support us if we have that within our life, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Okay,
and I think sorry, that comes down as well to the skill of the skills of the leaders were very skillful, and they made it very, very clear that when someone is speaking, that we were just listening. And you can come in and sort of offer advice or opinions, but people, it was so strict, that boundary, and it really worked. You really felt that is your space for the 10 minutes that you get, or whatever. So that really worked. Yeah.
Oh, I like that, Helen. That's really nice. What sort of things would you say to others about Creative Living Centre? So if you had bumped into somebody in the street and they were needing support, what would you say to them about Creative Living Centre?
Well, I'd say that I think it's a fantastic sort of halfway house. It's a bridging place between bringing between your illness and the world of normality and the world of functioning and the world of just being alive in the world. And I think it gives you that, it helps you bridge the gap between an isolation and not rejection, but sort of marginalization. You know, you've got your problems and you've got your mental health issues, but it really does help link the two back into something achievable. We can achieve something there. We can just be ourselves there. And we always have
powerful.
Yes. And there's so much positivity.
Bridging the gap.
It bridges the gap. Yeah,
I like that. What have you achieved? What would you say you've achieved since coming to Creative Living Centre?
I think a sense of connection, definitely. I feel I've been heard and understood. There's still a long way to go for me, I think, but I still feel, I know I can go back into that centre and bring it back to the centre and be accepted. I would feel included and I would not feel judged, and I could kind of it's like a petrol station. You can just go and refill a bit and just kind of recharge, and then sort of reset your sat nav again. So it is a very, very good, it's a holding space. It is a holding space. Because I don't think I don't think anyone really ever has to be ill again as such. I think because creative living you don't have to go deeply into your illness. It can be caught before a big backslide. I think it's a very good buffer.
So it can be like preventative as well, to stop you sliding. I like the word buffer. It can be a buffer. I'm just reading one of the things that you've put here as well, and you've said my inner critic has got less loud. It's not as loud as what it was.
That's true,
which I think is a good thing for moving forward, isn't it? The last question for me is, has coming to the centre helped you need other services like your doctor's GP, psychiatrist? Would you think it's helped you need them as much as before joining Creative Living Centre?
Well, I was actually discharged completely, so I haven't had a psychiatrist for years and years. But I haven't needed to, I haven't felt the need to sort of, go back to my doctors and think about putting myself through a system at all. Not at all. And
I think that's,
and even today, even today, I feel pretty down about my circumstance, but I wouldn't pick up a phone. you know, I wouldn't pick up a phone. I know I could ring up the center. I could get myself back on a course. I could do positivity. There are other things going on that I know would be helpful. I just need to pick up the phone.
Yeah. Which matches in what you were saying before about it being a buffer. So you've written here, it's helped you sustain. It's helped you sort of like kept you on a track, and then you know that when you're coming off that track in some sort of sense, that you can pick up the phone or you can access the support as and when you need it.
Yeah.
Well,
in fact, I have noticed recently, sorry, if I feel down, I've realized what I do is I automatically go to my Gmail and look to see if you've advertised another course. Right. And that's how I knew about the assertiveness training. So it is, it's like I'm programmed now to just, I don't panic. I just go to see if anything's coming up and sign up for it.
Oh wow.
And it seems to match the situation. It's very good.
Like from me, knowing you as I've known you for a long time, and having, you know, done support with you as well and courses with you, you have come a long way. And, you know, I'm, as a member of staff, it's so nice for me to actually see that growth as well. And when members turn around and they say, you know, I know it's there if I need it. I know I can pick up the phone. I know I can look to see if there's any courses or anything like that. For me, that's why we do what we do. So I really appreciate you saying that as well. Yeah. That's it. That's the questions. That's the quick quiz. Fire round. You passed. Well done.
Thanks, Debbie.